Happy New Year, everyone, and welcome back to our first Ecamm live demo of the year. I am reluctantly in front of you. I have avoided doing this demo for a long time because I've let the voices in my head take over. So I figured it was a really great way to kick off the year with overcoming some of that perfectionism. So if you're a fellow perfectionist out there in the audience hanging out with me, drop me a comment and let me know, because I think we all overthink it sometimes too much. So let's dive in and learn Ecamm together. And if we have not met yet, hi, I'm Katie Fawkes. I'm the director of marketing here at Ecamm. And I have been using this software and loving this software for the last 5+ years, but Ecamm has been around for a lot longer than that. So if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed or a little bit unsure of yourself here in this space, I promise you I'm going to keep this as easy as possible today. And there are no dumb questions. So definitely feel free to drop all of those questions in. And huge welcome to the fam. Hey to Paul. I see Neil hanging out with us. I see Val. Happy New Year, everyone. I see Matt hanging out and Anna. So we have lots of familiar faces in the audience. If you are brand new to the Ecamm fam or to Ecamm in general, or maybe you're just checking out what this Ecamm thing is all about, please feel free to drop some comments in and get to know this crew. I promise you, everyone I see here in the chat so far are all incredibly friendly and probably know more about this software than even I do. So definitely feel free to ask them any questions as well. All right, I'm going to jump into live demo mode. All right, so we are here in live demo mode, and I want to say a couple of things about Ecamm before we jump into some of the details of this demo. First off, if you have no idea what Ecamm is, this is a live streaming and video production software. So Ecamm started off as a live streaming software, but over the last 5+ years, it has really grown into being a full video production tool. So many of the people that you are seeing here in these comments coming up are using Ecamm not only to go live, some of them don't even go live. Many of them are using it to record course videos, trainings, demos, videos for platforms like Instagram or YouTube or TikTok in all different kinds of formats. Or they're using our latest and greatest Ecamm for Zoom integration to be able to make their meetings and presentations look even better. So if you're not a live streamer, that's okay. And if you are a live streamer, that's also okay. You can use this software for anything in the world of video. You can't use it though unless you're on a Mac. So that is the first rule of Ecamm, is that you have to be on a Mac computer. And otherwise, your imagination is the only thing stopping you from creating just about anything that you can think up here in the world of video. All right, so this is what Ecamm looks like when we first get started. And I'm loving all of the comments and well wishes from everyone. So hi, welcome. Keep those comments and questions coming. And welcome if you are brand new, and welcome if you've been here for a long time. We're really happy you're hanging out with us this Friday, 3rd of January, the beginning of a brand new year. Hey, Jeff, I know you too. All right, this is what Ecamm looks like. And I'm going to do something. I'm going to probably do a lot of things really different from all of the incredible moderators and experts who are usually running this demo. I have been on a mission to simplify things and make things much easier. So I am using Ecamm, as I always do, on a MacBook Pro. I have a 2021 MacBook Pro M1 series. So it's not the newest, bestest, most expensive, biggest machine out there. I don't have any other displays around me, so I'm looking directly at the camera, but I've really simplified, even here in the studio, I've simplified a lot of things to make it really easy. So again, you don't need all of the things to be able to do all of the things. But what this means for me is that often you can see here on my screen, there's a lot of windows, right? And so if I come over here and I show you all of the utility windows, there's a lot. And because I'm on a laptop, a lot of things overlap and it feels like too much stuff. So what I tend to do when I'm first starting off is I actually close all of the windows that are irrelevant to the project that I'm working on. So I never use network cameras, so I don't need that. I'm not doing any interviews today, so that's off and I can close it. I'm not bringing on any Zoom guests today or using Ecamm for Zoom at the moment, so I'm going to close that. And then I probably am going to mess around with some camera effects, but I want comments front and center. So I'm going to keep it like this so I can see all of your comments coming through and can click them over as easily as I want to. And then I like having my camera switcher visible, but once I'm usually set up, I actually will just close that out as well. And then I do tend to keep my sound effects, overlays, scenes here on the left-hand side, and then obviously my sound levels here at the top. All of these windows, as you can see, are movable. They're adjustable, so you can easily shrink them down or make them bigger, and you can shift them around. And as I just showed you, you can also close any of them. If you're like me and you have a moment of panic, like, oh no, I've just closed all of the things, you can always come back up here to Window at the top, and you can click to show utility windows, hide all of your utility windows, or you can click to arrange them. So Ecamm will arrange them for you in this setting, or if you move them all around like I just did earlier, right? So if I mess with them and I remove some of them, Ecamm is just going to hold whatever your last orientation, I guess, of your windows is. So again, like I don't need zoom right now, and I'm going to make this one as big as possible, right? So this is how I like to roll, again, because I'm on a laptop. So always think about your specific use case when it comes to Ecamm and make things easier for you. If you're brand new, which I think some of you are, make sure you click in our poll so that we make sure that we know whether or not you're new here or you've been using it for a while, so that we can cater our information to you. But I'm thinking about all the new folks here. And so what I really want to start with and to encourage you all to start with is profiles up here, profiles and scenes. So Ecamm, whether you're live streaming or you're recording a video or you're using it to create better presentations or webinars or all of those great meetings in any of the tools like Zoom and Google Meets, Teams, all of those places, it still works under this live to tape kind of strategy workflow. So that means that as you are recording, you are doing it in a live manner. So you're adding in all these different elements as you go, or you can plan them out in advance so that you don't have to do a ton of editing on the other side. Ideally, you do next to no editing unless you're like really into editing, which I know some of you are. But you can add things in as you go, which is great, right? So, and here, this is the downfall of having a laptop, but we'll slide this over for a second because I grabbed this GIF earlier, right? So if I want to drag and drop something in, right? This is my Happy Friday GIF. It's as easy as literally dragging and dropping it in. This is called an overlay, right? This is on my scene that right now is just called new scene. This is on my new scene, right? And I can position it. I can resize it however I want to have it, right? So just like that, right? So it's really, really easy. And now this is in my final video. So I don't need to worry about going in and editing later and being like, oh, okay, well, at the beginning when I was talking to everyone, I really wanted to be able to show on screen my Happy Friday GIF. And now I've got to find that file and go and edit it in and figure out the best place. You don't need to worry about that because again, Ecamm is live to tape, whether you're live streaming like I am right now, or you're recording like I usually am. So we're going to keep our Happy Friday up there for right now. So for the purposes of this demo, I thought it would be more fun instead of, Anna is going to yell. Anna's going to yell at me. So if you're new here, Anna and Fulgens run two incredible shows for us here at Ecamm. The first is ENN, which is a weekly news show on Monday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. And the second is a show called Building Blocks, where they show you how they do all the incredible things that they do during ENN, right? And they are going to need to cover their eyes because they have incredible organization when it comes to Ecamm. So you can do things like create folders, you can structure and organize everything, especially if you have an incredible show like ENN where you have lots of moving pieces and elements, which is why I wanted to show you something totally different today. So if you want to see all of the moving pieces and all of the incredible elements and things that you can do, please swing over and check out Building Blocks. There's tons of past videos that will set up and show you exactly how to structure and organize everything. I am showing it really, really, really simply right now so that if you're new or if you've been overdoing it, like I tend to do, that you can see what's possible just at a very kind of basic, simple level. So I'm actually going to show you, I do for fun a regular podcast on Thursday nights. That's all about 80s and 90s movies. And so I thought I would show you my scenes. This is an actual, so I duplicated my profile. I can't easily show you how to set up a profile while we're live, but you can see here, I normally have a profile called the VHS Club Podcast. I duplicated it and called it Test, the VHS Club Podcast, so that I could mess with it without actually screwing things up. But this is what my scenes look like. So I have a total of 5 scenes total, right? And they are the flow and the structure of my show. They're the pages in a book. They're, the slides in my presentation PowerPoint, however you want to think about it. Scenes are how you are structuring your content in Ecamm. So thank you, Anna. I deserve a pass today. If you want to get really organized, which is normally me, but not today, swing on over and check out Building Blocks. But we're going to be really simple today. So I have labeled everything so that I can immediately click through and see what's next and how I flow through my content. But I've tried to keep it really simple and actually show you a real life profile so that you can see what's possible. So this took me probably, I want to say maybe an hour to build. I am not a designer. I am not, I will say I am tech savvy, but I'm not anything special compared to tons of other people. So I was able to just push buttons, play around with this and build this out really easily. And once I built this structure, this very simple scene structure, every single week before I do my show, I record my podcast, all I have to make is a couple of really simple tweaks to it that take me about 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm ready to record. So there's a little bit of upfront work, maybe an hour, maybe a couple of hours, depending on how much of a perfectionist you are. And then each week, when I'm recreating my show and my content, all I have to do is open up Ecamm Live, click through into my profiles, find the profile that I want, and I end up in this space where I can just make a couple quick changes, and then I'm ready to go. So here's what the scenes look like. Walking the scene with you. Right. Okay. So that first scene is a countdown timer. We do our show live on YouTube. And so you can see that I have a little countdown timer. I have a scrolling ticker that gives a fun fact, some information about that episode. And then we enter this scene, which typically is myself and my co-host, not pictured here today, over there. And then we have our like VHS movie covers in between us, right? So every week when I'm updating and editing and getting ready for pre-editing my episode, all I have to do is literally just like unlock, right? And then I slide that out and that's it, right? And then I can swap in, drag and drop in the other episode, the other movie box or whatever it is that we're talking about that episode. So that it takes me anywhere between 5 minutes and 15 minutes to swap these things out, right? This is the main part of where we stay for when we're doing the show. And then I have all of my comments, right, that match my overall branding for this show. Okay, so this background was something I designed really quickly and down and dirty in Canva, and then I just dragged and dropped it in. You can see I can like reposition it and slide it and move it here, and then I have this movie box that I drop in and change every week. And then, as I said, I have my comments that are branded, and I know they show up in the correct place, right? So that was all of the planning I needed to do. And then at the end of the show, we review the movies. We give them what we call a potato rating. Right? And so, so this is what this scene looks like. This one we didn't even rate. we just had one giant potato for this one, but this scene is our final scene. So I know when we get to the rating and review part of the episode, I click over here and then our rating and review comes down. And then we have that final scene where we just wave goodbye and we have music over top of it. And then that's the end of the show. I record this show live, so I actually live stream it, and I have an audience similar to all of you hang out with me today that leave comments and interact with the show. And when I'm done, because I'm in that live to tape format, thanks to Ecamm, I don't edit it at all. I literally just grab that file. The audio and video goes out through my podcast host and out through YouTube, and the episode is available for everyone to watch and consume in their favorite place and in their favorite way. So it's really simple and it's structured really easily and simply so that I can do it every single week without having to think too much about it. All I'm focused on is the content, reviewing the movie, spending time with my friend, and engaging my audience, right? So Ecamm makes it really simple because of scenes and profiles. Whereas if I wanted to switch over, and I apologize, I can only show you these one at a time because we're live, but you can see here I have a bajillion and one different profiles. A ton, right? Some are test profiles, some are profiles for shows. I have one for Amazon videos. I have one for events that I'm doing. I do, another show with Doc, who I see in the chat, called The Flow. I have a profile here for The Flow. So when I'm working on a different show or project or presentation or a recorded video, I always save that as a profile, so that then if I need to get back into that and use it again, because it's something that I do on a recurring basis, I can do that. And if I want to be able to make any edits to that, then I just duplicate it. And then I have a template that I can use to build something new. And again, everything's drag and drop. So that's what scenes are. Before I jump further in, I know we did have a question. Welcome, James. James is brand new to the fam. How do you get live captions to store in YouTube? That's actually a really great question. That's a YouTube feature and not an Ecamm feature. So I'm pretty sure, and someone I'm sure in the chat will confirm or correct me, but that's something that you can just turn on in the platform that you're in, whether it's YouTube or Facebook or any of those different places. The viewer and listener can actually toggle that on and off. So you should be able right now at the bottom of the video where you're looking, there should be a little CC button or icon that you can click that on and off in YouTube. And I don't think that there's anything that you need to do on your end to set that, but someone else can probably correct me or add a little bit of context to that. But welcome to the fam. I agree. I think that hearing impaired absolutely should not have to suffer. So that is something that's built into most of the platforms, which is why we don't actually have it in Ecamm, because it's already offered by all of the different places where you're putting your videos. So great question. I'm just scrolling back through just all of the incredible people here. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. Hit me up with some questions if there's anything that you want me to cover. Whether you're brand new or you've been at it for a while, definitely throw those questions in. If I can't answer them, I've brought all of the coolest people in the chat, so they are happy to help and answer. But we just finished covering scenes. So what we should do is, so again, I have these really simple scenes. The one I didn't show you is this one. So I actually set up a vertical scene, and I know you're looking at this and going, hey, Katie, this is really weird looking. It's not vertical. I set this up so that all I need to do when I want to record a vertical video at the end of my episode, I just come up here into options. I unfortunately can't show you all the details, but I wanted you to see this. So I come here to options and I click stream shape, and then I switch over to tall. And then this actually looks wonky and crazy right now, but when I switch over to tall, it looks perfectly ready to go. It is my show structure that looks like this, except it's in vertical format, and I can record a quick vertical video. I usually do like 3 fun facts about a movie. So my process every week is that I live stream my episode. Takes me 5 minutes to get ready for. Like I do it right before tech check, jump into tech check, record the episode live, and when I'm done, I record a really quick 3 fun facts that you should know about this movie, and I do that in that vertical format. So I swing on down to this vertical scene. So that's why that's there, and that allows me to just do a lot of really simple recording and I'm ready to go. I don't need to do a bunch of editing, any editing really. And I'm able to get both a YouTube short as well as my full episode out. And again, with Ecamm, you can live stream, you can record videos, or you can present in apps like Zoom, Teams, Meet, all those different meeting and conferencing apps and solutions out there. So there's a lot of opportunity and potential there. If I wanted to create a new scene, I wanted to do something brand new, so maybe you're starting completely fresh, the plus button creates a new scene. Hello. And then you can change the camera. So you can see down here, this is my main camera. You can also drag and drop them from the camera switcher. So you can drag them in and reposition them however you want. But that is what a new scene looks like. So you can create a new scene and then you can label it. So this is, let's call this main camera, right? And so now I can see what my scene is going to be. This is the same. Maybe we'll call this one Happy Friday. Right. So now I know Happy Friday, and then I go into my main camera and then my main camera here, right? So these are scenes. You can, as we talked about earlier, you can duplicate a scene. So you can go in here, it'll make a copy, you can rename it. Let's just keep that one as copy because we're basically the same here. Maybe this was guest. Maybe I'll just do this. Put this, you can hear me behind this guest, but we'll call this one a guest. So this is a guest, right? So I have my main camera, I have my guest, and then I can also create folders and I can export things. There's other stuff that you can do in here if you wanted to get, but at its basic level, you're going to create scenes. You're going to consider them pages in a book or slides in a PowerPoint presentation or a keynote presentation. They help you to flow through your content. You can flow in order like I do. I always put them in the order that I want them to go in, or you can just click through to get to them however you want, right? So I can be like, oh, okay, I'm going to go over here into my Happy Friday, right? I'm going to go backwards. All right, just double checking questions here. I know someone asked me about markers. Yeah, so Matt is asking about being able to add in markers. That's not the things you color with. It's the M hotkey. Doc can probably correct me. I'm usually wrong with hotkeys, but you can add markers. So if I was to say something brilliant, let's say this moment here was a moment of brilliance, and I really wanted to be able to go back through and figure out exactly when I said that, I would just hit the M key, and you can see there it says marker added. I was right. So now when I'm done the video, I can go back in and there will be a file that shows me all of the timestamps of when I said or did brilliant things. If I was really, really good and use this feature a lot, there are additional things. I think you can add in like a little bit of context to it as well. You can obviously tie it to a Stream Deck or one of those other tools that you're using to be able to make it a little bit easier. But at its base, it's just allowing you to control your content as you're creating it. So if I wanted to cut that little piece out later, or maybe it was a moment where I did something really stupid instead of something really brilliant, and I wanted to be able to remove that from the video later, a marker would help me with that. Good call out, Matt. What are you using them for? You've been using them a lot lately. I'd love to hear for what. All right, another great question. Struggling with comment overlays. I set it up, but when I bring the comments in, it disappears after a short amount of time. Yes, this is a great question. I can answer this one. All right, so up here, so there's a top menu in Ecamm, and then there is the same menu here on the side, and then each one of these windows is like a menu item, right? But one thing that many people forget is that Ecamm up here in this Ecamm Live menu has a lot of things that are hiding under the preferences. We tend to call these sometimes like hidden features, and this is one of those ones that is a bit of a hidden feature. So you're not alone in being like, what the heck? So over here, so if you're going to come, let me just resize this a bit. So, oh no, I can't. All right. If you come into Ecamm Live Preferences and then you go into the general space, right here at the bottom is a feature, quote unquote, that says automatically hide comment overlays after blank seconds. So all you need to do is either uncheck this and then it will not hide comments at all, or if it's too short but you want to still be able to have this automatic hidden comment feature, then you can change the time. So I could change this to 60 seconds. I could change this to 15 seconds, 90 seconds, whatever it is you want to be, whatever it is you want. So I actually like it at 20 seconds. So you can see, and then you just click out of it. So if I put your comment back up again, if we time it, it'll let's put this up here. It should disappear after 20 seconds. It is annoying, I will say, when you are editing a comment. So when you're working on like placeholder comments, it is annoying that it disappears because you're trying to see, there it goes, right? And that actually has a transition to it as well. So let's go back to the menu. So back over to preferences and then uncheck that. So now they're not going to disappear. And then we're going to close that. And then we're going to put your comment back up. So I always go in and do this when I want to change the formatting of the comments, right? So because you're going to come to this little pencil on the left, and this, you can do this with any of the overlays. So we've moved now from scenes into overlays. A comment is an overlay, as is an image, a video, a screen share, a camera, anything that you're adding or layering on top of your scene is an overlay. So say we wanted to make the background color hot pink. We were feeling hot pink or bubblegummy pink today. And we wanted to, I don't know, wanted to change the corridor radius. And we were just talking about transitions. So these flying from the bottom, maybe we want them to spin in from the left, right? So now we've changed all of the settings. If I had that timer that automatically hide it after 20 seconds, this would have just disappeared as I was trying to make those edits. And that would have been really frustrating. So definitely, if you're going to be tweaking or making edits, if you're in the planning stage, turn that feature off, at least temporarily. So now I'd have to actually remove this. I'd have to X it out or drag it down off the screen in order to get rid of it. Or if I click another one, like Joel's comment, it'll replace it. And see, it replaced it with that spinning in feature. That's a transition. So now let's say, okay, I actually like that feature. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to turn it back on. But that's how to edit a comment overlay. And again, there's a lot of different kinds of overlays. So you can see here, if you come up to the overlays menu at the top, this will show you all the different kinds of overlays, right? So there's an image overlay. That's literally any kind of image. There's an animated overlay. There's a dynamic text overlay. There's a text box, a countdown overlay, a camera. This is pulling in all the cameras. Shapes, which are really fun. And I know our friends at Building Blocks make all kinds of cool things with shape overlays. So this could be like a circle, maybe. I'm not as creative or clever. Maybe it could hide behind. So, and similar to like any other thing, you can drag and drop their position and that moves things. So now this is behind. So maybe, so I can create like a scene that looks a little bit different by using shapes. And again, like every other overlay, you get this little pencil on the left. And I can do things like this has a gradient on it. I can remove the border or make the border bigger. I can change the opacity. Maybe I want to it's a little bit cool with an opacity. I could rotate it, which doesn't really do a lot for a circle. But I guess if I rotated this, let's see if I rotated this one. All right, we're getting silly here on the Friday. But this is how you can, there's a lot of cool things that you can do. This is a newer one. You can add some perspective to it, right? So you can do that with any kind of overlay. And that includes camera overlays. So again, and I close that window because I don't like windows open. But if I come over here to my camera switcher and I drag another version of myself here, then that becomes a camera overlay. And now I can do things like maybe I'm going to make myself square. And then I really like the effect of some of these like perspectives. So, you can get kind of as crazy as you want to get. And again, like this is all branding. Pink and purple are the colors for my show. You can apply any kind of colors or fonts or any kind of branding that is for your show or for the content you're creating. And because this is all sitting in a profile, This will all stay here as a sort of a saved project so that when you're ready to record or stream, it's good to go. And if you need to make any changes, it's just small tweaks that you're making later because you already have all this stuff saved in here. Great question. Comment overlays are a lot of fun. All right. This is a great question coming in from Nikki. Nikki wants to know, she's tried toggling in YouTube with no luck on getting the live chat to show up when the YouTube is replaying. So part of that might be the timing. So YouTube takes a while to process your live video. And so it might just be that you're coming back to it too soon. And so the live chat hasn't actually finished processing. The video hasn't finished processing yet. So it's not showing up. If it's not that, I'm not positive. It definitely shows up in a different place. So your comments on a recorded video or a replay show up at the bottom if you're on desktop, but your live chat comments are going to show up on the right hand side, again, if you're on desktop. And those live comments are going to appear as they appeared live in the video. So like as you are watching the video, those comments are going to appear. Whereas general comments that are on the replay video will just sit on the bottom like a comment on a recorded video. Hopefully that helped. Sorry about that. I'm sure someone else in the chat probably knows more than I do. Hey, Brian. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, the Zoom integration is an awesome, awesome feature. And again, since Brian mentioned it, Brian is from the Zoom team and recently did a Zoom workshop with us, which was a lot of fun. But if you want to find that, you come up here to the window feature and Zoom right here at the bottom. And what's kind of cool about the Zoom, well, there's a lot of things that are cool about the Zoom feature, but what's cool is, so you can see I'm actually logged in. So this is my Zoom account. I can log out of my account. I can change my account. And because I'm logged in, I can start a new Zoom meeting right from within Ecamm. I can join a meeting with the ID or with the link, or I can see all my upcoming scheduled meetings, which I don't think I have any right now because it's the new year and I've just started back again. But I can see any upcoming scheduled links. And what this would allow me to do is I can actually bring guests in through Zoom, which is awesome because almost everyone in the world uses Zoom. So it makes it really easy to be able to bring guests and co-hosts and all of those amazing people in remotely. They join a Zoom meeting, you pull them right into your Ecamm. It also will sync in and pull in any of the Zoom comments, which is great because if you are facilitating a Zoom meeting or a Zoom webinar, any kind of Zoom event, you'd be able to just pull those comments right on screen the same way I'm doing here with YouTube comments and be able to brand them and feature them, make people feel really special. And then it also allows you to do what's called a virtual camera automatically. So you can see here, I have my Happy Friday and I have my side, also me hanging out here on the side. This is what people would see as my main camera in Zoom when I join using Ecamm for Zoom. So if I wanted to be able to share my screen or roll a video clip or, pretend my Happy Friday was actually something more useful that I was presenting, you'd be able to show all of that within a Zoom meeting or a Zoom webinar really easily. So it gives you just a lot more functionality, but a little bit, not a more complicated feature by any means, but a lot you can do with it, which I think is really great. Oh, all right. So we're hitting me with the hard questions. All right. I've come a long way. I have come a long way. That is very true. Speak like a pro journalist. 2 tips to speak with confidence in front of a camera live. Oh my gosh. Well, usually if people ask me these kinds of things, I say that you have to practice, you have to be willing to fail, and you have to keep practicing on the other side of failing. You see me now 5 years into this job. And when I first started, I avoided being on camera as much as humanly possible. And B, when I was on camera those few times, I was shaking so intensely that you would literally just see it. Like I was actually shaking. You could hear it in my voice. I looked on the edge of tears. And I just forced my way through it. There was no easy way to do it. You just have to do it. What helped me was having people in the chat, like all of you incredible people, giving me feedback, asking questions, participating, making me feel more confident, like I wasn't alone, and having someone else on screen with me made a huge, huge difference as well. So this is actually probably one of the first lives I've done in a long time where I'm here by myself, which is a little bit nerve-wracking because I'm used to being the co-host or the guest or have a guest on. So there's always usually someone else with me. But I'm intentionally pushing myself into these situations because I think the more you practice and the more you see what could happen and work your way through it, the better you're going to be as far as confidence goes. But yeah, thanks. That's I appreciate the compliment and great question coming through. All right, Matt's responding back. Markers help Matt make YouTube chapters. Markers are more accurate than AI that tries to guess the timestamps of new topics. Awesome. Yeah. Yeah, I think YouTube chapters can be tricky sometimes to like. I have not found a good AI solution yet for YouTube chapters, so I think markers actually are a really smart way to do that. Ron, great question. So Ecamm is a desktop app. So unlike StreamYard and Riverside and some of the other web-based tools, Ecamm is software that you're actually installing on your Mac. And because of that, we are basically duplicating your stream. So there's no limit on how many destinations you can go out to, except for your internet bandwidth. So Ecamm actually has built into it. If I come back over here into preferences, and then I come, let me close this again, into destinations. And see, you can see all the different destinations I have. Oh yeah, see, this is what I get. All right, if I come back over here, I guess I can't easily show you. I'm trying to remember where my stream. Here we go. I can easily show you. I just didn't remember. So part of the limitation lies in how large a file you're sending. So right now I'm sending 1080p. But if I was going out to a ton of different destinations, my internet's actually pretty poor here in the office. And so what you need to do is double check that, right? So you can actually click here. Up to 10 is what it will give you the speed test for. So you come up here, let's say I go to 4, it'll tell me that I actually need to have 7.9 megabytes per second. Those are upload speeds. So upload speeds, not download speeds. And that is, that's going to let you know what you need to have in order to be able to stream. All right. All right, let's see. I need to actually, yeah, having to actually like remember to push the button on your Stream Deck. Yeah. This is why I actually have made like as simple a setup as possible, because my muscle memory thinks very much in like I actually am not great with hotkeys. I'm not great with shortcuts, but I'm really fast at typing and I'm really fast at like glancing down and just moving my muscle memory is all tied around moving my mouse. And so for me, I actually don't, even though I have a Stream Deck sitting like right here, I don't use it very often at all because I'm just so used to clicking through and I put everything in order so I know everything is. So yeah, I actually don't use it. I don't use that very much. All right. All right. Is it possible to place an object in show all scenes and place it behind, trying to prevent having to copy it into each scene? Oh, that's actually a good question. I don't know the answer to it, so let's just try it. Show in all scenes. All right, so let's grab my guy here, my Happy Friday guy. And let's come up here to the very top. So show in all scenes. Let's put him here at the top. And place it behind. Oh, okay. So let's place him behind all things in show all scenes. Let's see here. I have like a bajillion things under show all scenes apparently. It doesn't look like it because it stays on top, even though it's hiding. It's hiding behind. You can hide it, but when I show it, it's still sitting on top. Let's go through. Yeah, it's still on top of everything else. That's a good question. Maybe someone else in the chat knows more, but it looks like even though I see it, oh no, I guess, yeah, I see it twice in here. So it's adding in. So if I move it, yeah, it's still not, it still sits on top. So I guess the answer is no, but that's a good question. I might have to follow back up with that one. All right, I'm gonna hide that. You could hide it though, and then it's sitting in all scenes, but I don't know if that helps you with your use case. Thank you for the compliment, by the way. All right, Doc's helping people. Brand new to streaming. So many questions. Keep those questions coming. That is not boring, okay? Earthquake activity and volcanic activity, not at all boring. Like, I will watch your streams. Please drop your link in here so I can check it out. I think you could put all kinds of like really fascinating data on screen. Like, I would totally geek out to all of that. I think there's a bunch of opportunity to make that really, it's already an interesting topic, but make it even more kind of dynamic and engaging. And you could, add in different camera angles. Like maybe there's even the opportunity to go live to someone like in an area where they're, are more prone to earthquakes or at a volcano. And be able to like go live. Like you could create an entire news show where everything that you're doing could certainly be really interactive. That's a great use case. I'm just going back because I feel like you asked a question. Oh, you did here. We want to do a basic presentation with screen share and static documents. Is this possible with an Ecamm? Yeah. So it depends on. So there's a couple different ways to do screen share. I find the easiest. Let me switch over here where it's not cluttered. Okay. So I find the easiest is actually to do it as an overlay instead of. So you can click here to share your screen. At the top. But instead of doing that, it gives you a lot more control if you do it as an overlay. So we come up here to overlay and you come here to screen share overlay, right? So this is my desktop, but this could be like any different kind of app. So again, now it's an overlay. So you have the pencil on the left. And when you have the pencil, you can click, you can show an application if you have that open, your entire screen, etc. I can decide that I want like only a very tiny border. I can, you can green screen things out. That's hard to say. You can change the corner radius. Like maybe I just want it to be square like that. I can change the perspective. So again, like that would be kind of a cool shot, right? If I had different things on my desktop, which I don't at the moment. But so you have a lot more kind of options for how you want that to look, right? So let's see. So I could be talking and presenting about this thing that I have on my screen. And then in your answer to static documents, and I'm now kicking myself that I don't have a document here with me to show. Oh, you know what I can show? I do. Take it back. All right, so we're going to Podfest. And I have somewhere in here. I don't think I have like a multi-page PDF, which is sort of a bummer, but here's a PDF. So I can just like drag and drop a PDF on screen. Oh, there you go. It's loading. Haha. All right. This is the one downfall with my laptop is that it makes lots of different things. Okay, so this is a PDF. And if it had multiple pages, which unfortunately it doesn't, it would show you the little arrows down at the bottom and you could click back and forth between them to be able to work your way through a PDF. So if you had a PDF presentation, you could definitely do that. And again, like you can resize it, and because it's an overlay, you can add a border, you can do all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, there's a lot you can do in the world of presentation. And again, you want to think about it as layering it on in your scene. And if you wanted to switch back and forth between them, you could even create multiple scenes. So maybe I have this one scene that is, so now I'm going to call this presentation screen share. And then maybe I duplicate that. And this one, I remove the screen share and I just have my PDF. So maybe I call this one presentation PDF. And then this one, I get rid of the PDF. So now, I'm doing my demonstration, I'm showing my screen. And then when I want to get into my presentation, I click over here and then I can click through my presentation. So again, that's how I would think about it. I like if you had them as scenes, it's different pages, then you can flow through your content really easily. All right. These are some amazing questions you guys have. Oh, this is a great question. Thanks, Hank. Happy New Year. Hank asks about Opus. So if you don't know what Opus is, it is an AI-based tool that basically does a ton of really cool video clipping and video editing for you. So it creates vertical, very viral videos that you can share that you can share automatically from on the other side of creating a video in Ecamm. So for example, when I'm done this live stream, there will be a menu that pops up and it'll say, hey, Katie, you want to send this video over to Opus? And I will say, absolutely, because I love them. And it'll click through, send it automatically to Opus, and then Opus will start processing that video and it will pull out a bunch of clips that it will rank according to like their virality. So like how popular will they be? What is their kind of SEO cred? And then I can make any edits or tweaks to those. I can apply my branding, add some captions, and then be able to share those out across Instagram and TikTok and YouTube Shorts and all those good places. So the answer to Hank's question is no, we don't yet have any kind of detailed demo videos showing this, and but we definitely will have those up soon. But it's pretty simple. It's what we call a post-production integration. So the moment you're done recording a video in Ecamm or live streaming, you will see it come up in the menu. So it's under kind of that next steps thing, and it literally just sends the video automatically through to Opus. So there's nothing you need to do on your end other than make sure that you have an Opus account and an Ecamm account, and then you're good to go. All right, Stuart asks, if I have a Zoom meeting scheduled to bring a guest in, do I have to join that meeting or even start it, or will they just magically appear in the Zoom window when they join, like when using Ecamm? This is a great question. So if you have a Zoom meeting scheduled and you want to bring a guest in, they need to join that meeting. So they need to be either already a part of that meeting or you need to give them the link to join that meeting. Once they are in the meeting, then you can connect them into Ecamm and then be able to add them as a guest. And you can do up to 8 guests from Zoom simultaneously. You can do as many as you want if you swap them in and out, but 8 at the same time, which is probably too many. You probably should not have 8 people on screen. It gets really chaotic, but you can technically have no more than 8 people on screen. So yeah, they will show up. And Stuart, I would challenge you. There are so many incredible people in the Ecamm fam that would be more than happy to practice this with you. So jump into either our Discord or into our Facebook group and share a Zoom link. You set up a fake meeting, share your Zoom link, and then ask for people to jump into it and then practice bringing them on screen. Because it is a little bit, seeing it makes it a little bit easier to understand, and it is super easy to practice. So you don't have to be live when you're doing it. You can just bring people in and see what the experience is like for them as well as for you. Awesome. James, welcome to the light side to OBS's dark side. No, just kidding. How do I know what Streamlink Ecamm is using? That way I can make sure the closed caption is turned on. So I think you're thinking about this differently than you may need to. So again, closed captioning is a feature and a function of the platform you are streaming to. So YouTube offers closed captioning, Facebook offers closed captioning. All of these different streaming platforms offer it. So Ecamm will create a broadcast on YouTube, like where we are right now, and that will give you a YouTube link. It's just the YouTube link where how you're watching right now. This is on YouTube, so there's a YouTube link at the top, or if you're on mobile, there's a YouTube link that you can grab, and that is where people are watching, and that is where people can turn on and off closed captioning. Hopefully that makes sense, but ask me if I missed it. Absolutely true, Mr. Rock. Confidence is a muscle. It's so true, and even I feel pretty confident most of the time, but even 5 minutes before coming on with you all today, I had my butterflies because, again, I'm not often by myself on these. So I was like, will I be interesting enough to manage an hour of this? And so far, I think I'm killing it. So, hey, confidence is definitely a muscle. It is definitely a muscle. These are some great comments and answers. I love it. I love it. Newer than new. Welcome, Boatworks today. Trying to figure it out. Why are all the utility windows visible on our end instead of just visible to you? A way to toggle the whole screen share on off. Why are all the utility windows visible on our end instead? Oh, do you mean like right now? So I'm in, there is a feature in Ecamm Live that is almost entirely just for internal Ecamm people or people who are creating tutorial videos about Ecamm, but it's up here under options, the options menu, and it's called live demo mode. And so this just allows me to show you all of the windows so that I can explain how Ecamm works and I can show you all the different features and things that it does. But typically 99.9% of the time it would be turned off, which then would just look like this. So all you are seeing right now is what's in this main window here. And if I change that in scenes, you're not seeing my scenes window, but you would see it change over here, right? This is what it would normally look like. You're only seeing all these utility windows because I came up here into live demo mode and I turned it on so that you can see all of this stuff all around. So this is just something that you can have on if you want to, if you're trying to show someone how to use Ecamm. Sort of like a screen share, kind of like a screen share, but welcome. Let's know if any other questions come up. Yes. Yeah, this is actually a really great resource. So I will shout this one out. If you go over to support.ecamm.com, you will find all of our articles on all different kinds of topics. They have videos embedded, lots of great content there. This one will give you all of the different shortcuts, which if you're Doc Rock, you have fully memorized. If you're Katie, you do not. You need a printed out version of it somewhere, and likely you're still going to muscle memory and just press the buttons and type things because it's just overwhelming. But okay, I'm gonna marker added so that I remember to go back and look for we are Feed My Sheep earthquake reports on YouTube. That sounds incredible. I am absolutely gonna check that out. Yeah, you'll have to visit Doc in Hawaii. All right. Oh my gosh. All right, Marianne. Let's do it. This one freaks me out because it's a lot to manage. So preview mode, what preview mode does is allows you, if you are producing the show. So right now I am producing a show, even though it's just me, but I might be producing a show where there's lots of hosts and guests and people coming in and out and videos and all kinds of stuff. So I might be sitting behind the scenes some of the time, and I might realize that I misspelled Doc's name or the next scene in order is not what it's supposed to be. There might be stuff that I want to do that I don't want everyone to see, right? So like I in this instance wouldn't be in live demo mode. I'd be behind the scenes and there's something I don't want people to see. That's what preview mode is used for. And this is how much I use it. I don't even know what menu it's in. It's in preview mode. Oh, it's not even in a menu. That's right. So down here. Okay, this is going to be a little bit meta because I'm in live demo mode so I can show you, but in the main window, imagine you're not in live demo mode. In the main window, you will see this little thing pop up that says preview mode. So that means when I click it, I'm going to be doing editing things that if we were not doing this as a demo, you would not see. You are going to see it right now because we're here in a demo, but see, and it changes this over here that says preview mode, right? So while I'm in preview mode, so what I want you to watch is this program window down here that says live 5349, this program window. I'm going to make an edit here. So I'm going to remove this. Okay. So you see how in the preview mode, it's not there, but down in that program window, it is there. So if I was using preview mode, I would be making changes, but the people watching the live program would not see the changes I'm making until I'm done. So I'm like, okay, I didn't want that. So I've removed it. Now I'm going to hit publish. Now you see in the program window that change has been made. So it allows you to make changes without anyone else seeing what you're doing. It is significantly easier to do this if you are producing the show and not on screen. It's really difficult to do it if you're on screen and trying to share content and you're also trying to like look to the side and find the thing you're trying to change or make any of those edits. So it is a feature you're going to use if you are producing behind the scenes, you're producing a larger event, you're working with a bunch of different people. I would say it's not really worth using if you're just a solo show or if it's you on camera all the time, because it is very difficult to do while you're creating content. You asked about the back to the live versus publish, right? So I just published one. Let's say so let's say I'm still in preview mode here, but right now preview and program are the exact same. So we're clean slate. So if I wanted to like move this, for example, and I moved it over because I was like, oh, it's not how I want it to look. You can see down in the program window, it still looks how it used to, but here we are in preview mode. It looks like this. And then I say, oh, actually that doesn't look good. I'm just going to leave it alone. I made a mistake. I just click back to live mode. I revert the changes. Everything is fine. Now we're out of preview mode. Everything is just live, normal, good to go. I could be in preview mode, make that change, and then click back to live mode and publish the change, but go back to live mode. Now the change is made. So publishing applies the change. Back to live mode just takes you out of preview mode. But you can just follow. And then obviously you can do anything you want live. See, and now because I'm not in preview mode, you can just see as that's happening. And you can close this program window at any time as well. Hopefully that helps you. Thank you. We did it, because that one always freaks me out because I'm a perfectionist and doing things behind the scenes while also creating content just really freaks me out. But yeah, here we go. Oh, this is a great question. Stuart, I love this one. Okay, so the best way to show a website is, there are various ways, but the best way is an overlay. So in Ecamm, you can do things just by like, I could show a video, I could screen share, I could do all of that, but it then takes over your entire Ecamm window, which is really hard if you don't have multiple displays and is a little bit limiting. So the best thing to do is to come over here to overlays, and what you're looking for, and we should rename this because I feel like the name is a little bit, it doesn't say what it does. So it's actually called a widget overlay. So widget overlay, like apparently I was showing off Airbnb last time. All right, so let's show the Ecamm website. Let's show the support site, support.ecamm.com, because we were just talking about that. So we'll call it support. Okay, and then you can mess with any of these settings if you want to. I don't normally, but hey, you do you. All right, and there we go. So now I have an entire little mini website here. All right, and then here at the bottom, you see this little hand? I apologize, this is small. You can just toggle the hand, and then I can scroll through the website. If this was YouTube, I could play videos. The sound will come through. The little like chat in the corner will populate. May have to make it bigger. There we go. Hello. There we go. So there's our chat, so you can reach our support team. Looks like the team is on and hanging out. So this is all. This is all, and then if I want to toggle this back, I can move this wherever I want. And again, we get the menu on the side because it's an overlay. So I can come in here and I can change, again, I've been loving the perspective. I can give some perspective to it. I could add a border to it. I could change the corner radius. And I can get rid of it whenever I want to get rid of it. So that, in my opinion, is the easiest way to be able to work through a website without it taking over the entire screen. If you don't want to be on screen, you could certainly have it be full screen, and then you could bring yourself on as a camera when you want to, or take yourself off as a camera. So you could layer those two things on. But I think it just gives you a lot of flexibility. And again, it's a fully functioning mini website where all the audio comes through, all the features are there. You can click through it. You can show everything as if they were on the site with you. All right. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Gretchen. Yeah. See, it's preview mode is something that if it makes sense for you, it's certainly something you can practice and get used to. It's also a muscle memory, right? The more used to it you get, the easier it's going to be, but it is a little bit tricky if you're by yourself, at least in my humble opinion. Yeah, there are a lot of people like Jeremy and others who use Stream Decks and Stream Deck pedals and all different kinds of things so that you can maintain eye contact. So I use my finger and my mouse, but I don't mind glancing down for a minute. And most of what I'm doing, I can do that. And so I don't tend to use those things just because I feel like they add one more thing that could break or one more thing that I could screw up or forget or I don't know, do incorrectly. So up to you. But remember that it's okay to do more with less. You can do a lot or you can not do a lot. It's all good. Yes. In the next release of Ecamm, and you can find that in the beta group coming soon. So you go to Ecamm Live Beta on Facebook. You'll find our Ecamm Live Beta group, or ecamm.com/beta will get you there as well. But that's how you can find out the newest upcoming features and help test everything out. But there is going to be a yellow border around that preview mode so that you know, because that's the other tricky thing about preview mode is that sometimes you, even though it's there, sometimes if you've got a lot of windows open, you might forget that you're in preview mode, which then if you're moving things around, you might not be showing what you want to show. Hi Laura, how's it going? Yes, back to live gives you the option to publish or not. So back to live is just backing out of preview mode, but it'll say, hey, do you want to actually make these changes or you just want to back out? So you can do those either. Thanks, Doc. All right, well, we are almost out of time, but I wanted to just cover another couple of quick things before we jump out. So we talked a lot about profile scenes overlays, which we hopefully now understand. Sound effects, you can drag and drop in any kind of sound effects you want. These can be sound effects, these can be full music files. The only thing to keep in mind here is that you need to have permission to use them. So they need to be copyright free, or you own them, you've created them, they are yours. You can add them in really easily. So you can either play them from here, you can drag them into a scene. You can stop them when the scene ends or not, right? So that might be for like more of a song. You can also loop them. Get rid of them, right? And so if I wanted to, this little arrow here, that loops it. So this is where I screw up all the time. So I will give you my pro tip. When you're building a countdown timer or an intro scene and it has music associated with it, make sure that you look at the full time of the music file so that your song doesn't stop playing before the end of your countdown timer. If that's the case, you might just want to loop the file and make sure it goes to the next scene automatically. So just worth doing a little bit of practicing first to make sure that it all times up correctly. I've definitely screwed that up and continue to screw it up here and there. You can also add a hotkey to any of these. So those are sound effects. You can have as many as you want. You can create folders. You can rename them. You can do all kinds of fun stuff in sound effects. And then over here, I wanted to show these because I think camera effects offer a lot of really cool stuff. So here I am on camera A. I have my Sony connected right now. So this is where green screen or blue screen is. If you want that, you actually physically have to have a green screen or a blue screen or green or blue behind you in order for this to work. But here I can do things like I can zoom in or zoom out, right? Boop. I can control the brightness. I can control the temperature. I actually tend to I really like gamma, so I tend to make it a little bit darker, but you can do whatever you want. If you mess things up, you can hit reset. If you decide that you like this darker look, you can come down here and apply it to all scenes where this camera appears. You can rotate yourself. Whoop, whoop, whoop. You can apply a sepia tone or a blur effect. There's all kinds of things that you can do to your camera, your guest's camera. So if your guest comes in and their picture isn't looking awesome, you do have some control over being able to make it look a little bit better. You can't improve like a completely terrible camera, but you can do some things. You can change between your cameras here. So you see I have a ton of them, including guests, some some virtual cameras, some non-virtual cameras. So lots of options up here. Da-da-da. All right. Okay. Last call for questions, everyone. I'm looking here in the comments and reactions window. I can search. So if I wanted to just search for questions, right, I can search through and see these questions that came through, these incredible questions. I can remove that. I can star a question. So, boop, right? And so then I see this over here in my favorites. So it allows you to just kind of do a little bit of comment curation if it's really busy and you don't want to miss anything or you want to call certain things out. And then you could just jump down to the latest comments. Here on YouTube, I can add comments too. So I could really quickly type a comment here, boop, boop, and say thanks everyone, and then highlight it on screen. And I'm really happy that I created this test profile. So now I have not broken or made a mess of my normal VHS Club podcast profile. So when I go to record my show on Thursday, I'm going to be all set and ready to go. Hank's all ready. He's got his rating system in. Thank you, Hank, for my 5 potatoes. All right. Is there any kind of discount code for signing up for the pro plan? Yeah, I'm sure that someone here in the chat probably has a discount code for you. If you want one from me, you can email Katie, Katie, at ecamm.com. I'd be more than happy to give you a discount for signing up for the pro plan. And thank you. The pro plan is awesome. A huge portion of our customers are actually on pro. Because it's insanely affordable. I think we're the cheapest on the market other than OBS, which is free. And it's filled with tons of amazing features, including the Zoom integration, which we talked about earlier, interviewing, virtual camera, just a ton of, which we haven't talked about, but isolated audio and video files. So when I'm done recording, I'm going to have all those amazing files ready to go for any kind of repurposing or editing I want to do. And yeah, as Doc is saying, if you sign up for the affiliate plan, you can actually pay for a lot of your gear and equipment just by recommending and having people purchase Ecamm. So thank you. Huge thank you to the whole team for hanging out, for all of you for spending time with me today, for making me feel way more comfortable. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2025. If you are brand new, I hope you will do what Paul suggests and jump into our communities, ecamm.com/community. We are more than happy to continue answering questions. I think there's some preposterous amount of incredible live demos sitting here on this playlist on YouTube. So go back and check out all the amazing other creators and moderators and team members who have shared their knowledge with everyone. Please know that I am and try to be an open book. You can always reach me, Katie at ecamm.com. Happy to answer any questions about Ecamm, walk you through, show you what I'm doing, help you to simplify and reach your goals. We are so appreciative that you are part of our community, and I cannot wait to see you in the next stream. Thanks, everyone. I hope you have an absolutely incredible week and month and new year. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.